Imagine the man you trust with your life, your shadow, the one who stands closest when danger looms. Imagine that man turning against you. It happened. The incredible story of a trusted guard who tried to assassinate IBRAHIM Traoré, and the truth, it's beyond belief. Before we dive into this astonishing tale, take a moment to subscribe. Don't miss out on uncovering hidden stories like this. Burkina Faso, a nation steeped in history and challenge, found itself navigating turbulent waters. In this unpredictable landscape, leadership demands not only strength, but an inner circle whose loyalty is beyond question. Captain IBRAHIM Traoré emerged as a figure promising change, a beacon for many. But his rise also brought inherent dangers and watchful eyes, both inside and outside the country's borders. His safety became paramount. At the core of his personal security detail stood a man, a trusted guard whose name, for reasons that will become tragically clear, is etched in the story not by his identity, but by his unthinkable action. He was more than just a member of the security team. He was a constant presence, a shadow inseparable from the leader, known for his unwavering vigilance and dedication to duty. His colleagues, his superiors, and those who observed him daily saw only a pillar of reliability, a man completely committed to protecting the life entrusted to his care, never showing any hint of disloyalty. The relationship between a leader like Traoré and his close protection detail is built on an extraordinary level of trust, a bond forged in shared vulnerability and constant proximity to potential threat. This guard had earned that trust over time, proving himself in countless situations, his presence a source of reassurance in moments of high tension. He was privy to sensitive movements, internal routines, and strategic planning, information only accessible to those considered absolutely incorruptible. In a region grappling with instability and facing multiple security threats, the integrity of a leader's security is not just a personal matter, but a national security imperative. The possibility of infiltration, of betrayal from within, is a constant, terrifying whisper in the corridors of power. Ensuring every member of the inner circle, especially those closest, possessed unquestionable fidelity was the bedrock upon which Traoré's daily operations and personal survival depended. This particular guard possessed all the outward qualities one would seek in such a critical role: discipline, skill, bravery, and a history of faultless service. He moved with purpose, his eyes constantly scanning, his posture reflecting readiness. To onlookers, he was the epitome of a loyal protector, the last person on earth one would ever suspect of harboring thoughts of malice or treason against the very man he swore to defend with his life, making the eventual truth all the more shocking and difficult to comprehend. The trust placed in this guard was absolute, a fundamental assumption that allowed Traoré to focus on leading a nation without the paralyzing fear of the deadliest threat emanating from his immediate vicinity. This faith was so deeply ingrained, so completely taken for granted, that the very notion of this specific individual becoming a potential assassin was not just improbable, it was an impossibility, a scenario that simply did not compute within the reality they inhabited, setting the stage for a betrayal that would shake the foundations of trust itself. Yet, beneath the surface of unwavering loyalty, a dangerous seed began to germinate within the guard. The transition from trusted protector to potential betrayer is seldom instantaneous. It is often a gradual erosion, a slow poisoning of the mind influenced by external pressures, internal conflicts, or insidious manipulation that exploits vulnerabilities hidden from plain sight. Something shifted in his world, a change imperceptible to others, marking the beginning of a dark path. The forces seeking to destabilize Burkina Faso and remove Ibrahim Traoré were many, operating with cunning and patience. These external actors, whether foreign interests with strategic agendas, rival political factions within the country, or powerful criminal networks threatened by Traoré's policies, constantly sought leverage and opportunity. They understood that the most effective way to strike at a leader is often through those closest to him, and they likely identified the Guard as a potential target for their influence. What specific pressures or promises were applied to this Guard remains a complex part of the unbelievable truth. Was it immense financial gain offered as an irresistible temptation in a nation facing economic hardship? Was it coercion, threats made against his family, leaving him feeling trapped with no other choice? Or was it perhaps a twisted ideological appeal, a manipulation of perceived grievances or disillusionment presented as a higher cause that justified the ultimate betrayal of trust for what he was led to believe was a greater good? The process of turning a loyal individual into an assassin is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. It involves identifying weaknesses, exploiting fears, and building a narrative that justifies the unthinkable act. The external forces likely worked subtly, patiently weaving a web of influence, perhaps starting with small favors or discussions that gradually escalated, chipping away at his resolve and loyalty until the idea of betrayal became not just possible, but seemingly necessary or even desirable from his warped perspective, making the hidden truth truly unbelievable. It's possible the Guard wrestled with a profound internal conflict, a battle between his years of dedicated service and the powerful, corrupting influence now bearing down upon him. The weight of his duty, the bond of trust he had cultivated, surely warred with the compelling forces pushing him towards treason. This period of internal struggle, hidden behind his professional facade, must have been a torment, a silent battle fought within the confines of his own conscience, unknown to those around him. Ultimately, a decision was made. The loyalty that had defined his career and his reputation was fractured, replaced by a chilling determination fueled by whatever forces had finally gained dominion over his will. The trusted Guard crossed the line in his mind, committing himself to the plan that would make him an assassin. The transformation was complete internally, the stage set for the attempt that would reveal the terrifying fragility of trust at the highest levels of power and the shocking depth of the truth. With the decision made, the plan was set in motion. The inherent advantage of being the trusted Guard meant he had access, opportunity, and an intimate knowledge of Traoré's movements and security protocols that no outsider could ever possess. The attempt was meticulously planned to leverage this privileged position, waiting for the opportune moment when security might be slightly relaxed or when Traoré was in a particularly vulnerable situation, counting on the element of surprise that his identity provided. The air around Traoré in the days or hours leading up to the attempt must have been thick with unspoken tension, at least from the Guard's perspective. While Traoré and others went about their duties unaware of the dark plot unfolding from within their closest ranks, the Guard was living a double life, performing his protective role while simultaneously preparing for the moment of betrayal. His internal state, a mix of cold calculation, fear, and perhaps a twisted sense of purpose, must have been a heavy burden masked by a calm exterior required by his profession. The critical moment arrived. Perhaps it was during a routine transfer, a public appearance amidst a crowd, or even within the perceived safety of a private residence. The Guard was in position, his weapon ready, the path seemingly clear. The opportunity he had planned for, or perhaps a sudden, unexpected chance, presented itself. This was the point of no return, the fraction of a second that would forever change the course of his life, Traoré's fate, and potentially the nation's future, depending entirely on the actions he was about to take. However, the assassination attempt failed. The reasons for the failure are a crucial part of the narrative, often revealing the complex interplay of factors present in high-stakes situations. Did the guard hesitate at the last second, his conscience finally reasserting itself in the face of the irreversible act? Was there a subtle movement by Traoré, a chance glance, or an unexpected event that disrupted the plan at the precise moment of execution? Did another vigilant security member, sensing something amiss, react in time, perhaps without even fully understanding the depth of the threat? The failure could also have been due to a technical issue. A jammed weapon, a missed signal, a communication breakdown in a larger conspiracy. Sometimes, the sheer pressure of the moment, the weight of attempting to murder the man you were sworn to protect, can lead to mistakes, a loss of nerve, or a failure to execute the plan perfectly under unimaginable stress. The specific point of failure is key to understanding how a meticulously planned act by an insider could still fall short of its deadly goal. In the immediate aftermath of the failed attempt, chaos likely ensued. Guards would have reacted, alarms would have sounded, and the source of the threat would have been quickly identified. The shock and disbelief upon realizing the identity of the would-be assassin, the trusted guard, their colleague, must have been overwhelming. A betrayal so profound it would have shattered the sense of security for everyone involved. The guard was apprehended, his attempt thwarted, but the damage to trust was already immense. With the guard in custody, the painstaking process of uncovering the full truth began. Initial interrogations would focus on the immediate act, but the deeper, more unbelievable truth lay in the motive and the forces behind him. Who put him up to this? What were the promises or threats that compelled a man in such a trusted position to attempt such a heinous act against the very leader he was meant to shield from all harm, revealing a conspiracy far larger than a single disgruntled guard? The investigations revealed a complex web of manipulation, exposing the external forces that had corrupted the guard's loyalty. It wasn't a simple personal vendetta, but a sophisticated plot orchestrated by powerful entities with significant resources and a vested interest in removing Traoré from power. The unbelievable truth wasn't just that a guard tried to kill him, but the sheer scale and insidiousness of the influence that could turn a seemingly loyal protector into an instrument of assassination, highlighting the hidden battle for the nation's future. The specific motive uncovered might have involved a mix of factors: significant financial inducements that exploited personal hardship, credible threats made against the guard's family members, or ideological manipulation that preyed on any existing doubts or frustrations he harbored, framing the assassination as a necessary evil for a perceived greater cause. This complex interplay of coercion and incentive explains how someone so trusted could be fundamentally turned against their charge, making the betrayal not just shocking, but deeply unsettling in its implications about the nature of political power and vulnerability. For Ibrahim Traoré, surviving the attempt brought not only relief, but a profound and lasting impact. The psychological toll of being targeted by someone so close, someone he implicitly relied upon for his life, would be immense. It would undoubtedly force a complete reevaluation of his security apparatus, demanding increased scrutiny and testing of loyalty among his remaining personnel, possibly leading to increased isolation and difficulty in knowing whom he could truly trust in the future, forever changing his approach to personal safety and leadership. The failed assassination attempt also sent shockwaves through Burkina Faso. It highlighted the fragility of the nation's stability and the lengths to which external and internal adversaries were willing to go to achieve their objectives. It could galvanize support for Traoré by exposing the threats against him, or conversely, sow seeds of doubt and instability by revealing the depth of internal compromise, impacting national morale and political discourse for months or even years to come, underscoring the high stakes involved. The unbelievable truth of this story is not just the failed attempt itself, but the intricate layers of manipulation, vulnerability, and external interference it exposed at the highest levels of power. It serves as a stark reminder that in the complex and dangerous world of national leadership, the most potent threats can sometimes come from the places and people least expected, shattering trust and revealing the hidden battles fought for control and influence, a truth that is indeed difficult to fully grasp. This story reveals just how complex and dangerous the world of power and politics can be. What are your thoughts on this betrayal? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video compelling, please give it a like and share it with others. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories the world needs to hear.